autism. Everybody knows the word. Our next guest, we're going to be talking about her book and the way that she goes through life. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Karen Thomas. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Which came first, your C.S.T. or your son's diagnosis with autism?
My C.S.T., and what that stands for is Craniosacral Therapy. So I've been a craniosacral therapist for over 30 years, but the importance of that is that when my son was diagnosed with autism 15 years ago, and I was told to just drug him and try behavioral therapies and there would be really nothing else we could do for him, I knew that the brain could heal because I had that knowledge. It's a scientific fact. I just didn't know how much to do about autism, so I had to begin researching that. And it took me over a decade of just countless books read, countless time researching, $150,000 of my own money spent to figure it out. But as moms will do, and you know this as a mom, moms just don't give up. And I wasn't willing to give up, and I kept going, and today my son is fully recovered.
He wasn't verbal. And right, there was he had some things that were typical, right?
He was verbal. So he was verbal. Some kids are not. I can give you some great examples of some people that I've worked with and the changes that they've seen in their children as well. But yeah, my son had extreme oppositional defiance disorder, anxiety so bad he couldn't sit in a classroom, the sensory deprivation, the sensory issues were so strong that it was hard to sit in a classroom as well. Couldn't sleep through the night. Debilitating stomach aches that woke him up screaming at 3 a.m. And just the aggressive issues that would come up. And I tell people, your child is not an angry person. What's happening is that their brain is so toxic and so inflamed that that's why they can't focus in a classroom. That's why they're so agitated all the time. That's why their stomach hurts them so much. It's a biological issue. This is not a mental issue. And that's why it can be recovered from.
Naturally,
without drugs.
Naturally. So naturally recovering autism. And I told Karen, I'm like, this book is hardy. I mean, this is like almost as heavy as a brick, right? So there's a lot of knowledge in here.
Yeah.
How many pages did you say? 500 and something?
Over 570. It took me 6 years to write it because I was also raising my kids at the same time. And but I wanted to make sure I got it out because after I had spent so much time figuring it out, I thought there's no way that I can't share this information with other parents. Today, 1 in 59 kids is diagnosed with autism. And the projection is, with the rate of escalation currently, that by 2025, it could be 1 in 2 kids.
Really?
Yeah.
Karen, that's shocking.
It is shocking.
Okay, so maybe everybody should read the book.
It is. My husband calls it a holistic health Bible. It's basically a resource of my immense background with holistic health, but that's what I think people need to know. And I've put it for autism in specific stages because it does need to be done in an order. And parents are already overwhelmed. They're not sleeping through the night because their kids aren't sleeping. They're staying up nights worrying. I have moms telling me they hadn't slept for years because because their child wasn't sleeping and or because they were so worried. They were so stressed. It's a really overwhelming thing to have a child with autism. And so that's what I like to provide is a community of support and the resources to know not only what to do, but how to do it. Because I found that doctors were of no help to me. It was just a lot more information and the information's out there, but you really have to know how to use it and in the right order.
And because you're not accessible to everybody 24/7 every day, at least they have this to start with. But now you have this really wonderful program that is digital, it's online. How does that work? What is that called?
It's really exciting. Okay. In less than 3 years now, it's a membership site and it's in over 40 countries already. So I have families even in small towns and villages in Africa that are able to utilize it and successfully utilizing it. Their kids are getting much better recovering. They're sleeping. They can, some parents, they're just grateful when their child can now brush their teeth and get dressed on their own and go to a normal classroom with other kids and play with other kids because they need that independence. And so the membership site is there available to anybody, and it's online, and that's what it's for, to be able to provide that support to anybody wherever they are in the world.
And it's very user friendly. You've created it so that people can Just go step by step. You walk them through everything. You know, they try something out for a few months, like a month or so, and, you know, go to the next level and the next level and so forth.
Right.
And there's also, you said community. There's community there. Let's talk about that piece of the puzzle.
I have a forum inside of the private site, and people are private with their kids, and I honor that too. And so there's a private forum inside where they can ask their questions to me 24/7, and then we have there's resources, but I also walk them through it one step at a time in the right order, so that they know what to do. And then things come up along the way, because symptoms can very often get worse before they get better. As the detoxification is happening, you have to make sure you're not doing it too quickly, and it can actually be somewhat unsafe, and their symptoms can get much, much worse if they're doing it too quickly. So that's what I like to support them on that journey. But one thing I just tell them over and over, and I'm so grateful for the parents that are amazing with these children, and they are the child's hero. I mean, they're really, you know, they're not giving up. And that's the key, is to not give up on your child, to know that, you know, for some people, they're like, you've restored my faith, and that's what it's about, is being able to keep your faith and knowing that even when times get hard, just to keep going and not to give up.
Now here's my other question, because it just came to me, and it's something we haven't discussed prior to this. If somebody's already been on this spectrum, they're not the 2-year-old that was recently diagnosed, somebody's 12, 15, are there still helpful tools and tips from this book?
Absolutely.
So it's never too late to try to start something naturally.
It's never too late. I have, the youngest I know about in my program is 17 months, and the oldest one is 42. And I have parents in their 70s that are coming and saying, I'm still trying to work with my child, you know, and they get in and they're able to help them. And so yes, it's never too late.
Overcoming every little challenge matters. Karen, thank you so much. Wish you all continued success. You're making a huge difference all over the world, and thank you so much for being here. There you go. That's the answer. Because wouldn't you want to know if, hey, it's never too late?
Yeah.
Stay tuned.